Manchester City 4, Borussia Dortmund 1 in the Champions League. 5 things we learned from the game, breaking down all the goals and, of course, some match analysis. We have to say this Manchester City side are absolutely scintillating right now. Phil Foden, Erling Haaland, even Cherky off the bench getting involved today looked absolutely scintillating. Yes, this is a young Manchester City side. Arguably a Manchester City side still in transition, but it's fluid, it's mobile, it's ambitious, it's creative, it's far better on the ball, and it's obviously spearheaded by a striker who is in a different league to everyone else except for the likes of Mbappe and Harry Kane. And I'd say he's a better striker than Mbappe, maybe not a better total footballer than Harry Kane, but his numbers, even today, Erling Haaland didn't have the best game in the world. One chance is all he needed, and suddenly he's on another goal-scoring streak of the highest standards that we've ever seen in the Champions League in this era. 54 Champions League goals in 52 appearances. Scary, scary stuff. Here are 5 things we learned from the game. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. We have to start off with Phil Foden, who is operating at a very, very high level. He equalised and then surpassed the amount of goals that Ronaldinho scored in the Champions League. Now, I tweeted about this. I'm not obviously saying Phil Foden is anywhere near Ronaldinho, but it does actually show you a lot about Phil Foden's career, that he's a consistent goal-scoring midfielder who's picked up a Champions League trophy in his own right, a similar amount to Ronaldinho as well, by the way, and he's scoring big goals every single season. Yes, last season it was very, very flat. This year, he is better. He looks far more fluid. He looks far more confident with Reinders alongside him, with Nico Gonzalez. That midfield really, really worked today, and Phil Foden's goals were of the highest standard. The first goal, 22 minutes in, it's absolutely staggering. He gets this really nice quick ball between the lines from Reinders, and he just bends it low around the keeper from 20 yards out. It's an exceptional strike. The low ones are always harder for the keeper, but you don't always see them from long range. Toni Kroos used to do it on the opposite side quite a lot, and Phil Foden's got that strike in his locker in abundance. He scored a very similar kind of angled goal at Real Madrid, obviously a couple of years ago. It went into the roof of the net, but one of the best long-range strikers of a ball in world football. Criminally slept on, a player that a lot of England fans argue should even go on the plane to the World Cup. What an utter disgrace some of these England fans are. Phil Foden is an outstanding footballer, and he's won Manchester City the game today with the opening goal. After that, Dortmund had no real answers, and it was a moment to think as a football fan when you're watching the game. Is it going to be 3-4-5 today? Obviously, it ended up being 4-1. Erling Haaland with another goal. On the 29th minute, Doku absolutely kills the fullback for Dortmund, gets to the byline. It's a great ball with quality and end product into Erling Haaland, who smashes it Steven Reed style at 100 miles an hour into the back of the net. Absolutely scary, scary stuff. 30 goals or assists in 17 matches this season. It's actually boring reading off stats. It's boring reading off numbers off a page. It is a little bit. 27 goals in 3 months of the season. He could score 60, 70 in all comps this season, all comps. Seriously, if he stays fit, it's absolutely staggering. It was a great finish. Jeremy Doku, great ball across. What I've noticed from Jeremy Doku this season, the power of his crossing is a lot better. It's a lot sharper. Instead of just beating someone and having this kind of floaty ball in, we see it a lot with the Chelsea wingers right now. I think Garnacho will probably beat someone, and the crossing is low energy. Doku is working on a real power drive across the face of the box when he beats a man. It's not easy when you're running at pace, because you could argue that just beating a man is the only thing you've got to do as a winger, but you've got to provide the ball into the striker. It's not easy at pace to have so much accuracy with it, hitting it as hard as he does, and Doku did a very, very good job of that today for Erling Haaland. Phil Foden makes it 3-0 in the second half with another long-range strike. Staggeringly good. And it's a combination I'm seeing a lot more of. Nico Gonzalez, very, very quick into Reinders. Reinders almost first time into Phil Foden, who can pivot. Phil Foden's an instinctive footballer. Phil Foden loves that kind of little ball between the lines. He can turn and shoot. He's done it for his entire career. And the connection between Reinders or Cherky into Haaland quick, Reinders into Foden quick. But it's all down to Nico Gonzalez. Nico Gonzalez, for me, gives you that platform where you get that ball very, very quick. That's why I've been saying it on podcasts for so long now, that the whole City side last season has to be very accountable. It should have been more than Rodri being injured, and that is an excuse for poor form. It has to be more than that. It wasn't justified. But on a footballing level, when Nico Gonzalez is operating at a Rodri-esque kind of level in terms of what he provides, he's not obviously Rodri yet, he gives a platform to that City midfield to be 5-10 yards up the pitch with great distribution. They're getting great service, and it allows Foden to be expressive, allows Foden to be a little bit experimental. We saw it with Cherki as well. Nico Gonzalez gives this City side a massive, massive platform. At points today, it was 4-1-4-1. So you've got this massive spread of 5 players pushing on, and Nico Gonzalez holding the fort by himself and giving protection to Stones and Gvardiol, who didn't have much to do today. The Dortmund goal actually comes about from a bit of sloppy defending from Jeremy Doku. Every time I watch Doku, I think his end product is improving from his first season, but still he loses the ball in the wrong areas. Still positionally nowhere near the likes of someone like Raheem Sterling back in the day. He used to be very, very good defensively off the ball, work hard, but he'd understand the game, he'd understand where to go, how to track a man. Sterling was very good defensively. So was Sane actually back in the day. Even Jesus, when he was operating on the right hand side, he'd be very, very effective. Jeremy Doku, for me, let his man run. Anton scores the goal with a great cross across the box. But Jeremy Doku has to do a lot more defensively. I saw it on the weekend in the Premier League as well against Bournemouth, trying to beat a man on the edge of his own box. This isn't Power League. And I do worry in big Champions League games where Doku will obviously be trusted. He's been absolutely superb this season in big games coming up. It's worrying the amount of times he's losing possession. I don't know why Guardiola isn't addressing it, and that's a big, big concern for me, to be honest. Ryan Cherki scores in the 91st minute. What we're seeing from this kid is absolutely scary. The run was brilliant, a little bit of a deflected effort, but the goal looked absolutely scintillating. This City side are purring. Here are 5 things we learned from the game. I talked about the midfield, but all in all, I think you play Foden and Nico Gonzalez now. Until Rodri comes back, these two guarantee. And then if you want to have a bit of control in a big game, Liverpool coming up, I'll be talking about that on the channel obviously tomorrow. Maybe you take off Savinha, maybe you put on Bernardo Silva, maybe it's Cherki instead of Bernardo Silva, who knows. But for me, Foden, Nico Gonzalez, and then maybe it's Reinders or Cherki in that other role makes a lot of sense. I think Doku deserves to play on the left, but I think you could put a midfielder in for Savinha and have even more control. This City side are far better on the ball than last season, moving the ball a lot better, far better in possession, far better in the press. That's the second thing we learned. Let's just talk about it. The pace of this City side is really, really good. Critics of Man City last season said it was a slow, baggy side, and you'd argue it would have been with an old Ilkay Gundogan. De Bruyne looked shattered. Of course, he's coming right at the end of his prime years. Not very mobile. Bernardo Silva, not very mobile. It was a little bit slow. It was a little bit stagnant. This City side, when you look at Kuznov when he comes back, you think Nico Riley's got great pace. Nuri at left back's got great pace. It goes on and on. Reinders has got good pace. Doku, Savinho, Oscar Bob's got great pace. And Erling Haaland's got fantastic pace. It's a quick, mobile, agile Manchester City side. And that's why it's so exciting as a City fan. Because in Pep's first season, didn't win anything, was building and trying to get into the Champions League, go for a title the following season, where obviously City got 100 points in his second season, which is staggering when you think about it. But it was built off a front three that, for large parts, was Jesus down the middle, Sterling on one side, a young Sane on the other side. That is a pacey front three with David Silva, Fernandinho, De Bruyne in that midfield as well. This is a very reminiscent team because Foden's got great pace. I think build with pace, build with youth, and eventually that little bit of quality that Ilkay Gundogan brought, the maturity on the ball. You don't need the quick footballers all the time, but it gives you a great platform if you start there. This City side are young, they're going to build together, and starting with a pacey, powerful side, Marmoush as well, is very, very exciting if you're a City fan. You have to say that. Erling Haaland, again, 54 goals in 52 Champions League games. He's going to give City a chance to win the Champions League this season, even if all else fails. And that is absolutely staggering. And then let's just talk about the final thing, the form in recent weeks. I thought the game against Villarreal in the Champions League, look, this isn't the strictest or sternest test you're ever going to get, but Villarreal looked very, very good away from home. Monaco's really disappointing, but still a decent performance, I'd have to say. 4-1 against Dortmund. It's not going to be a real test. It's going to be PSG in the quarterfinal. It's going to be Bayern Munich in a semi-final potentially. That's a real test. But this City side are looking really, really good on the ball. I think still lack that defensive roughness and nastiness that Arsenal have got. But this City side go toe-to-toe with Arsenal in terms of keeping the ball, moving the ball. And I think that's more important than defensive solidity. It is. In terms of ranking all the things that matter in football, being good on the ball matters more than blocking the ball out of the net. It will, time immemorial, will always matter more. This City side are better on the ball than Arsenal. Facts. Maybe don't spread the goals as well. Maybe aren't as physical, whatever you want to say. I think that's for sure. Or defensively as good. But it's a City side that on the ball is as good as anyone in European football and is beginning to maintain an element of control off of it as well. Still want to see more clean sheets, conceding a few cheap goals here and there. I think it's a really, really good City side. Let me know what you think in comments down below. 4-1. I'll be covering Liverpool tomorrow on the channel. So make sure you subscribe to that. I'll see you very, very soon.